Hi, I'm Tony Mancini, and welcome to this week's episode of The Weekly, featuring the editors of Building, Design, and Construction. Yes, I'm wearing a mask, mostly for health, committing to that, but also, I want to see football. Let's go Eagles. It would be such a nice break. They do fog up your glasses. I think 2020 is going to be known for some other things too. And I think we've seen it play out throughout our society. Today at The Weekly, we're going to go in a little different direction. We're going to look at a couple of the social aspects of what is affecting our industry right now and what are we doing about it. In the middle of those two segments, we're going to see a really cool technology. We've been talking about how innovation just continues to get driven into our marketplace. I think 2020 is going to be known really as the year of innovation. COVID drove it and accelerated it. But man, it's happening. We made a couple small changes with The Weekly also. We just launched a new landing page at Horizon TV. We think it's pretty cool, but why don't you go check it out and let us know what you think. Also, we'll be doing the segments just a little bit differently. I'll continue to do the intros, but we used to run it together in one big show, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the feedback was, hey, just put the segments up there and let us watch what makes the most sense to us, which frankly, that made a lot of sense to us. So going forward, you'll see the intro. You'll see kind of what each segment will be about. And then we'll load all 3 segments up and you can watch at your leisure, which ones make the most sense. We've also expanded to YouTube, so we're on Horizon TV and YouTube. And as always, we're on demand, so you really can't miss anything. So let's talk about today's show. In our first segment, Rob Cassidy talks to Melanie Harris about a 4-point manifesto that she put together. And it really came from personal experience. And one of those points was around inclusion.
And then the last one is striving for inclusion. Let's not use spaces like parks and plazas to separate neighborhoods because that's based on fear. That's based on wanting to keep people apart. Let's use those as a tool for integration instead of what we typically tend to do with it. So those are the 4 points: designing for the people, empowering the people, staying invested in the communities, and then striving for inclusion.
In our middle segment today, Michael Jansen talks about something called digital twin tech. I was not familiar with it, and once I started diving into it, it is fascinating. So Michael tells us a little bit on what digital twin tech is.
The common definition of a digital twin is a virtual replica of physical assets, whether those are buildings, infrastructure, whatnot, connected to the data in and around them. So the digital twins generally are all about creating efficiencies by pulling things together into a single kind of frame of perspective. We call it a single prism of glass because digital twins for us are 3D. And that allows not only users to be able to see all their information in a single place, but also to run analysis, especially correlating efficiencies between systems, which is really where you can begin to generate the efficiencies.
In our last segment today, Gabrielle Bullock talks to John Caulfield around AEC and social equality. It's a little different take than our first segment was today. And really the question is, what does social equality mean for the AEC community? Gabrielle answers it here.
Diversity, if you can imagine, is inviting somebody to the party. Inclusion is asking them to dance once they're at the party. Equity is asking them to share their playlist at the party. And so I think the AEC industry has gone some distance regarding diversity and inclusion, but I don't think that we've really tackled the equity part, the really valuing, engaging, and working toward a more equitable profession.